One.
Welcome back to the podcast. We're here for the rookie profile episode. Today we're doing a running back out of Oregon, Royce Freeman, 6 foot, 235,
Big boy.
21 years old.
Yeah. Just turned 21 actually a couple weeks ago.
And he was tearing things up there. He was up there 4 years.
No, actually February 24th he turned 22 years old, 1996.
Oh,
if I
so
do the math, he just turned 22.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
There you go.
He's a senior, so that would make sense.
4 year.
4-year senior.
A lot of tread on those tires, as some would say.
Some would say that he has been run quite a bit.
Especially carrying that much weight. 240 pounds almost.
Well, 5'11", at the combine he was 5'11", 229.
Whoa. Dropped a little bit of weight. I don't like that.
That's what he came in at the combine.
You don't like that?
No, not if he's running at 235 in college and then he drops weight. I don't like that.
But it actually helped him
Yeah.
because he ran a decent 40-yard dash for his size and the 3-cone drill. He was under 7 seconds, so that's the agility. So I think it actually helped him. I'd rather see a guy lose a couple pounds than put on bad weight.
Yeah, bad weight. You don't like bad weight. We know that.
Yeah.
I
don't want to be eating garbage
a
for a
4.5
week.
40 is pretty good actually
For his size.
Yeah, that's pretty good. The he's got a bunch of records. I mean, in college, I don't know if that's because he was there for 4 seasons.
Is he a DJ?
Is he? No, he spins out of the tackle. He's Oregon records for rushing yards 1,353. His freshman rushing record 19 touchdowns as a freshman. Career rushing touchdowns 60, also a record. College average 6 yards a carry. He had 79 receptions, 814 yards, 4 touchdowns. Pretty damn good. Obviously, he can catch the ball. That's over 4 season span. But that's 20 catches a year. So he can catch the ball as well. So I like that as well. Very stout, muscular frame, which produces natural power when he runs. Full speed. The issue, though, he doesn't always play to his size. Needs to run more aggressive. Can deter his running by arm tackles. He has hip tightness, limited cutting ability, because again, I think of his size and his weight. So I don't know if he plans on being that bully back that just kind of runs you over, but if he's not, and he's not going to run really aggressive, then I don't know how much damage he's going to do as like an every down back in the NFL.
I think he'll be okay as an every down back. The one thing that does kind of worry me, like you said, is the whole, keep the legs turning thing. Can he be used as a goal line back? Is this going to be somebody they pull the goal line? I would think because of his size and that being 5'11", 229, they should use him on the goal line.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's getting hit by arm tackles and going down, is that going to be something they pull him on the goal line?
Everything I read kept saying that he anticipates the contact when he's running into a crowd rather than being aggressive and lowering his head and shoulder and kind of bullying through and kind of running through the crowd. He kind of anticipates he's going to get hit and kind of tenses up a little bit and then doesn't bust through, which is a huge... You can't do that in the NFL, especially when the guys get bigger, especially the linebackers, obviously. You're not going to be tensing up and just, you're going to get blasted by 2 or 3 guys. That's not going to feel too well.
And he doesn't really have that getaway, breakaway speed either. So
correct. 4.54 is pretty good for a 40-yard dash time, but...
I was impressed with that time, actually, yeah. So
4.5 is plenty.
It's good for a running back.
That's plenty, yeah.
James, you worried about the injuries?
I only saw that he had one major injury. He had a knee injury. It says his junior year knee injury, but he still rushed for 945 yards and 9 touchdowns after that. So it didn't really affect him as much as I could tell. He's supposed to go in the 3rd to 5th round in the NFL is what they have him before the combine. I don't know if he moved up or down since the combine, but before that, he's I don't see him going in the first 3 rounds. So I would say 4 to 6 range, depending on where he goes. But the NFL comparison I keep reading is Dante Foreman. But we have a small sample size of Foreman in the NFL, so I don't really know how much, because he also got hurt as well, so I don't know how much you want to put weight into that, because you haven't really seen him over a full season to see what he can really do. But I think just size and the way he runs is like Foreman.
Some scouts have said that the knee injury that he sustained his junior year, it kind of took away some of his burst.
Yeah, explosiveness.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's a big guy, though. How much explosiveness and how much breakaway speed can you have when you're carrying that much weight? And again, I had him listed before we started this. 5'11", 238 is what he was listed at in his senior year.
And in the combine, he comes in weighing 229.
Right. So I mean, he loses 10 pounds or so, and that can make a huge difference. You're losing 10 pounds as a running back. As long as you keep.
The thing I like about him is that if you give him, I kind of had him compared to a LeGarrette Blount, a little bit smaller than LeGarrette Blount.
Mm-hmm.
but except for he's a good pass catcher. So to me, that's somebody that you can leave on the field for all 3 downs, and it's somebody that could be like a bell cow type. Yeah, he could be out there as your main guy. He doesn't have to get pulled anywhere. The one thing that I don't know is NFL teams, will they use him as a goal line back, or is that something they're going to pull him out for that?
Well, the other thing is we talk about tread on tires, and he was a 4-year, like you said, guy at Oregon, but in high school he was in San Diego in California, and for the San Diego section, which I guess is bigger than just the San Diego area, it's a huge Southern California area. San Diego section career leader in rushing yards and in touchdowns for any high school running back. He rushed for 7,600 yards as a high school kid over his career, and 111 touchdowns. So 111 touchdowns in high school, 60 more in college. He's at 171 touchdowns, which is ridiculous. The kid's getting a ton of miles on the legs, but again, he's only had 1 injury, so I don't know.
Why do I just picture that just the high school?
He's just running over kids, right?
I feel like he's getting through the line and then just not getting touched. You know what I mean? Like he's not with the breakaway speed, but I have a feeling that he gets right through the line with nobody even touching him.
In California, though?
And then he just busted. Like I don't think he got tackled very much from what it sounds like.
Well,
7,000 yards and 111 touchdowns.
Career points scored, 724 points in high school. Damn.
So to me, like that sounds like he got 2 handoffs on a drive, and the second one took it like 70 yards. And
no one touched him. No, this guy's probably falling off him, hitting him at least.
There's probably guys chasing after him.
You guys are funny.
I have no
idea what happened in his high school games. But what it does kind of sound like is is this a case of a guy peaking too early?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
He's had a great career. He's coming out now, and it's like,
why is he not being more?
Yes, where's the talk? Yeah, I get it. Saquon Barkley's coming out, and I get it. There's some other guys coming out, but this kid has a nice resume.
He's not even supposed to go in the first 3 rounds, really. So yeah, why is everyone so low?
He was doing that good. Why does he stay his 4th year? Like clearly by looking at it, he could have come out.
Because his junior year he had the knee injury.
That's when he had the knee injury. If it
would
have came out,
almost had 1,000 yards.
I know, but if he came out after the knee injury, I think that it would have been way worse. I think he wanted to come back and prove like, hey, I still have it, because scouts were saying that he lost that burst.
Yeah.
So if he comes out after that, and then that's all they're talking about is like, oh, he had the knee injury. Oh,
but now he had a good season, and he's still not in the top 2 rounds.
Hey, I still got it. Let me come out with Barkley and Chubb and guys.
I know that's.
Help.
Or he could have came out last year with Fournette and McCaffrey and Kamara and Hunt and all those guys.
Kamara wasn't high though. He would have been higher than Kamara and Hunt.
Well, Mixon,
Dalvin Cook and Mixon though.
Well, Mixon had off-field issues, so he was pretty suppressed.
Sounds like a lot of excuses. I don't know. I mean, there's not the last couple of years. There's been a ton of running
population
backs.
1, right?
Yeah, population. Travis Sutton.
I could have seen with his resume, I could see him as the 3rd guy. Because McCaffrey's very hyped. Fournette was Fournette.
Whoa.
I could have seen him as...
McCaffrey's very hyped. He backed it up.
Coming off
Nobody's talking about whether he backed it up or not, but he came out with a lot of hype and a lot of hullabaloo, and he was rightfully so. He's a very good football player. But I'm just saying, he probably would have slid in right behind McCaffrey, and would have been ahead of Mixon, and would have been ahead of all these guys.
Even with
Royce
the
Freeman?
How bad was this knee injury? Like, you made it sound like it wasn't that bad, and he came back and was able to kind of do some stuff from it.
I don't know if he ran for 945 yards after. Like James said, he ran for that after.
Year.
But I think he meant the total year. He didn't run for 945 yards after he hurt his knee in week 3 or 4 or whatever. That's what I mean. If it was like towards the end of the year, yeah, he came back, but he didn't look the same. There's no way he would have went ahead of Mixon and Cook in an NFL draft.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of it had to do with he didn't want to go into the draft off of an injury. Maybe the best thing for him would have been to come out after a sophomore year.
Yeah, it says that he's coming back, and despite being a huge major injury or barring a major injury, will almost assuredly be a breakout running back star and should be like up there with the top tier class coming out, is what they thought when he went back in for the senior year.
Okay, so what about this? Let me put you in this since we're kind of talking dynasty here. Let's say he does have a productive career, but it's shortened because of the injury concern or the tread on the tires, so to speak. Do you still take a chance on him and take him in the first round of a rookie draft, even though let's say everybody else that comes out of that rookie draft in the first round, let's say they're going to give you 6 quality years. But Royce Freeman might only give you 3. Do you still take him in the first round, or are you worried about the extra tread on the tires?
That's a loaded question a little bit. I mean, if you know, this guy's only got 3, these guys got 6.
If you know, that's different.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
so your answer is no?
Well, if you know you only get, it depends. Are those 3 years phenomenal 3 years, or
above average?
I might have a 3 above average years of over 6 years of just kind of decent years. Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I was asking. I'm not going to hold on to a guy for 6 years, most likely.
I'm not making you draft him either. I'm just saying that in a
don't make me do it.
If he, I can see him going in the first round. Most likely he's going to go before 206 in a rookie draft.
This running back draft, like for all the trash that everyone talked last year, saying that 2018 wasn't going to be good, and that 2017 was where you wanted to have the most picks. This is a pretty deep class in running back. I don't think it's as deep in receiver.
No, it is a lot of not stud receivers, but it's still deep. We're learning the names, and now we're watching them in the combine, and they're looking a pretty good option to me.
I think this is very deep. I think that he should go back in first round of a rookie draft, but where you take him, I guess kind of just depends on which owner and roster construction.
Okay, well let's say he ends up with somewhere where he is a third down back. Obviously he can be receiving back since he caught, and he's a short yardage goal line back somewhere where the other team already has a good starter. Like if he goes in the early 4th round to the Miami Dolphins, who has Kenyon Drake. They use Drake as a first and second down back and put him in as third down back. I like him there. I like him in Miami. I think he'd be a great goal line back, short yardage guy, and he can catch the ball. I think that a lot of it depends on where he goes. If somebody's going to take him, like he slides all the way to, let's say, the 5th round, then I don't really know how much you're going to get out of him, like how much immediate dividends you're going to get. And I think that's going to depend on where he goes in our rookie draft, because if he doesn't go to the 5th or 6th round, there's no way he's going to go in the first 15, 16, 18 picks of a rookie draft. Somebody'd rather take a receiver that's going to have a better chance of getting immediate dividends than a Royce Freeman going in the 5th round.
What about someone like the Jets?
Same.
They've been linked to a quarterback in the first round, right? Mm-hmm. They're interested in Malcolm Butler in free agency, which is obviously going to help their defense. They just drafted a few smaller name guys at receiver, so they still have guys that they're developing in receiver. So they probably won't go receiver in this draft.
More than Darius Stewart
or Darius Stewart, Chad Hansen, Sharon Peak. They have guys that are young that haven't really developed yet. They're still working on those guys. But they just had Matt Forte retire, and you're left with Bilal Powell and Elijah McGuire, and that's basically it. Like I think they have Travaris Cadet. They have Travaris Cadet and maybe under contract.
But they don't have a big back.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like Elijah McGuire's on the smaller side. Powell's more of like not an every down back. He's more of like a PPR guy. He's guy's going to catch a lot of passes, but not necessarily a 3 down back. Yep. So the Jets might be somebody looking at the 308. I don't know. Maybe he slides to the 407.
Even 407, yeah.
But that's something they can look at. I think he'd be a good fit in New York, and he wouldn't come in right away and need to have every single play.
What about like 321? Carolina Panthers have a couple 3rd round picks.
That would be a good spot for him to land too, because McCaffrey can't do all 3 downs, and they just let go of Jonathan Stewart. So unless you're highly considering, which I know there's a lot of coach speak, but you guys saw the stuff on Cameron Arthurs-Payne, right? How they're saying that they're going to give him a shot and everything like that. Well, I think that's past due. Like he's not going to get a shot at this point. So if they took him there and they run with Royce Freeman and then Christian McCaffrey in the 3rd down role, I think it would be a good.
If I'm a Christian McCaffrey owner, I would love it. I would love that.
Just ahead of them at 318 is Detroit.
Even if they strike out on the whole guy.
Every running back's linked to Detroit right now.
No, I'm just saying if they don't go running back the 1st or 2nd round and they find themselves looking at Royce Freeman.
Is there a running back that Detroit can get today that's going to rush for 100 yards this season? That's all I want to know.
Yes.
Who?
Saquon Barkley. He'd run for 100 yards.
If they got guys,
maybe. You think so?
Royce Freeman might be too tall for Detroit.
What I'm thinking
5'11"?
is, if the Darius guys goes to Detroit Lions, I kind of drop value a little bit on him.
If Royce Freeman does?
Any of them. If any of them go to Detroit, I drop the value in a rookie draft. Like if Darius guys goes to Detroit, I don't love him. If you haven't had a running back rush for 100 yards in 4 seasons, you're 16 times 4. Do the math. 64 games? Is that? 64 games you have added a rusher. It's obviously it's not the running back. They've had 15 of them come through there in the last 4 seasons, and no one's rushed for 100 yards. No one's broken a tackle away for 60, 70 yards.
Though.
Dude, Amir Abdullah in the second round
was supposed to be good, but he's never panned out. And I don't think it's because of Detroit. I think if he went somewhere else,
it's Detroit's offensive
I was
line.
high on him last offseason. I was like, this is going to be his breakout, and then he just didn't do it. And then he goes to the coach and flat out says, look, give me a chance at the goal line, and he fumbles twice. Like, it's like,
okay, but
how long is his leash?
For Royce Freeman,
There's some interesting third round options.
I can see the Patriots cutting everyone and coming back with just whoever they want, and they get a big back like Royce Freeman, who you just said reminds you of LeGarrette Blount. They plug him in and they draft him at the 331 position or the 231 position, and he ends up getting 12 touchdowns.
They don't
touchdowns.
draft running backs though.
They don't. They always get guys that are undrafted. But
look, Tampa Bay's at 305.
I looked at Tampa, yeah.
Tampa Bay, yeah,
because they have 2 small backs right now. Now that Martin left, they have 2. Peyton Barber and Charles Sims, who's
that's it. Sims is a free agent.
Okay,
they
so you have
Martin
Peyton Barber.
Sims is gone. So you have Peyton Barber there, and then
who's small.
Do they have somebody else under the?
Peyton Barber's not that small.
Peyton Barber's not that small.
He ain't Royce Freeman.
He's a good size. 49ers got a couple third rounders. There's some interesting spots that
he'd be a good fit in Tampa. I think Tampa and the Jets would be 2 pretty good fits for him.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Especially if you do the 3rd or 4th round, if he slides that far.
5'11", 220.
So he's basically the same size as Royce Freeman.
Mm-hmm. For Peyton Barber.
Yeah, he's a decent size. He's bigger than you think he is.
All seem to be the same size.
Dude, it's like Corey Clement, same thing. It's like he's bigger than you think he is. He's similar. He's like 5'10", and
I just can't
you
imagine
don't have
that
to build
Tampa
him up
Bay
anymore. You traded him already.
that Tampa Bay's going to give him the reins. Peyton Barber. You have Winston. You have Mike Evans. You have all this talent around him with O.J. Howard they just brought in.
You think they will?
I just don't. No, I don't think they will. No, I don't think they will.
You're
going to give Peyton Barber the reins?
No, I think he'll have first crack at it.
if they bring in a rookie,
What does that mean?
they probably give him first crack at it.
What does that mean?
Unless
3 or 4 or 5 games, if he does, and see what he does.
unless the job is stolen away in preseason. I mean, that's very possible too.
Like Dalvin Cook did.
It's very possible that could happen. Well, that was kind of because of injury to Latavius Murray. He was not at full strength, but I could see, them drafting somebody and that kid either coming in and competing really hard and doesn't really take the job, but they give Barber the chance at the beginning and doesn't really do anything or go anywhere with it, and then they let the rookie kind of take over. I could see that happening.
So we all kind of think 3rd or 4th round in the NFL draft, and we
Late
think possibly 1st round of a rookie draft.